Misha.
Hi, Jensen.
How are we feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm glad to be out of the green room.
Did you?
I was just in a 20-minute long argument with Jason Mans about marginal tax rates, and I feel like I need a break from that kind of conversation.
How do you find yourself in an argument about marginal tax rates?
If you are sufficiently bored, you can accidentally go down that rabbit hole. And you know, Jason and I have very strong opinions. Actually, if you want to talk about it, we can.
Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that so that I can immediately forget them.
How are you?
I'm good. I got some sleep last night, thankfully.
I don't think you've ever said that on a Sunday at gym. No, I think that's a first.
No, that's a rare. That's a rare thing for me. Yeah, no, I'm feeling all right. I think the jet lag caught up with me a little bit the end of the day yesterday. Matt Cohen was like, "You were awfully quiet on that ride home." I was like, "Yeah, because I was dying inside."
The body was shutting down.
Yeah. I literally said that because Danielle had invited us to dinner last night afterwards, and I was like, "My body is shutting down." And for once, I'm going to listen to it. So yeah, I went and got some sleep. Because I got to go straight into a whole other work week.
Yeah. I mean, I say yeah, like I know what that's like. I don't know what that's like.
I know what that's like because you just came off one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you were really in the hot seat there this past week.
I was in the hot seat. Yeah. It was,
you can't say what.
It was this kind of interesting situation where I had to do a scene. It was really the hot seat, Jensen. Other times
I was really enjoying it too.
I get the short end of this stick.
Yeah, I was there, but not there. And I got to witness Misha really in an uncomfortable position. And it was entertaining.
It was hard.
Now I want to
It was very hard, I have to say. And for a long time.
See, I feel like a difficult position and something being very hard when related to the boys could mean a lot of really disgusting things.
Yeah.
I will say this, it's not as bad as you think it is right now, you filthy people.
Where did your mind go?
You know where it went.
Oh, shame on you!
Listen, I hope no. This is what we think. Yeah, but that was, it was fun. But you survived.
I survived.
And I will say this, I told you this yesterday, I was proud of you.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I was proud of how you handled that situation. I thought you did very well. I mean, internally I was like, don't make us look bad, man. Don't make us look bad. Because Jared and Misha and myself, we're on the set together. We're kind of all for one for all at that point, because that's how the whole crew and cast looked at us, as all the supernatural guys are here. So you really had a lot riding on.
Yeah. Oh, I had a lot riding on me.
It writes itself, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Sick. You're sick.
No.
Every last one of you, especially the front row here. What?
You're gonna need to shower again.
Gonna need, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure there's enough soap, but. Is it noon yet? Oh, look at that.
Can you hit that red button?
Where's the...
Hit the red button. Red button. The red button.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Gather round, ye lads and lasses, send you for a while. Till you mind the tale about the Emperor Dial. Let's all raise our glasses to
We sound like dancing monkeys. Just
Speaking of which, I didn't know, like, a tough act to follow. Ricky was up here essentially. You actually doing like a Chippendale performance up here.
it's like Magic Mike.
Oh yeah.
Magic Ricky. Listen, if anybody is wondering why Ricky Whittle is part of a supernatural convention, that's why. Because he's willing to go where we aren't. And we need that. Well, I don't know if I need that, but clearly some of you do. And again, filthy, filthy people. A lot of you. But did you enjoy Ricky? Oh yeah! You're like the Kool-Aid man.
Did he give you a happy ending there? Good.
Are we supposed to answer questions?
Nah.
Do we have questions? Or do you just want to listen to us talk about Ricky Whittle? Because we can do that. Okay, let's take a question. Hi.
Hi. My English is as bad as last year and before. But I have Google Translate.
Google Translator. Hi, Google.
I've recently been on a TV show in my country. It was my first experience of that kind, and I was surprised how comfortable and felt in front of the camera. No fear, no shy. How did you get used to acting on camera? Do you sometimes get nervous when you are doing that?
Were you doing like one of those reality shows where they arrest criminals? No.
They try to change me.
They tried to chain you?
Yes, people that change my style or something like that.
Oh.
I have dreadlocks 5 years.
Oh, it was like a makeover.
Yeah.
A makeover show.
But it's difficult to change it.
I started out really young at an early age. I did like commercials and stuff. So I didn't, I don't think I was old enough to actually develop the fear that I probably should have. So by the time I was doing this professionally, I kind of had gotten comfortable with being in front of the camera. It was just kind of adding now dialogue and plus I did a soap opera for 3 years, and that's just hardcore training on being in front of the camera, knowing your lines, hitting your mark, finding your light, you know. So that was kind of my real television education was just doing it on the job. But yeah, I still get nervous. It's probably more the pressure I put on myself about certain moments or certain scenes or certain actors that I might be working with or something where I'm like, okay, this is a high pressure situation. But for the most part, I usually feel pretty comfortable. What did you kind of? Was there a stage?
Like, I was nervous last week, and I kept telling myself
That's what I mean.
I kept telling myself, just try to relax, try to open up, and just slide into this.
Okay.
You know?
Because it was hard.
Yeah. Really hard.
What? Shame on you. I had a funny thing because practically my first experience on camera, like my first experience on a real set was I had no acting experience. I had no experience on set, and I was in a scene with Winona Ryder on, what is that movie? Thank you, Girl Interrupted. And I was so out of it, I didn't know anything about anything at that point. I went into I don't know if I've ever told you this story.
You were in Girl Interrupted?
Yeah, I had like one long scene where I'm hitting on Winona Ryder.
That makes so much sense.
At a party. And it was a period movie, and I was wearing, not like menstrual cycle, but, and I had this like leather vest with all these straps on it, and I went into the hair and makeup trailer, and I was like, to one of the hair and makeup people, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to tie this fucking thing, like it's all these straps and I keep getting tangled up, can you fix it for me? And it took like 5 minutes, but she helped me, she figured out how to fix it. And then we got into the scene, and I discovered that the person that I thought was working in the hair and makeup trailer was actually Angelina Jolie. And she like fixed my thing. And then that sort of set me off. I was like, oh fuck, she's like the star of this movie. And I just like walked in and treated her like she was my servant. And then we got into the scene with Winona Ryder. When you said like, you know, I learned about hitting my mark and blah, blah, blah. So in that scene, they were like, so Misha, sorry, we gotta cut. Misha, you see that? You've gotta make sure you hit your mark. And I was like, what does that mean? Whose mark and why am I hitting it? I had no idea what they were talking about. And then they were like, hey, Misha, you're in Winona. So we gotta cut, we gotta go again, because Misha, you're in Winona's light. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, that light up there. You see there's a shadow? And I was like, oh, light makes shadows? Like, it was all new to me. And then the director, James Mangold, he came up to me and he was like, Misha, we're gonna go one more time. You know, we're in a party here. All of the extras in the background, they're moving their lips as if they're talking, but they're not saying anything and it's dead quiet. But we're gonna put music and people talking over this, so you need to talk loudly as if you're talking over the music.
Mangold explained it to you like that?
And I was like, oh, I thought it was a silent party. And so all of these things started to add up. And then I'm sitting there with fucking Winona Ryder, and I'm like trying to do a scene with her. And I was so full of nerves that I couldn't hold any of these things in my head. It was very nerve-wracking. But it ended up coming across in the scene as if I were very high on drugs, which worked, you know? So that was my beginning. But yeah, it was hard at first. And it's very hard. And it stays hard for a long time. Until...
Hi. Please change the subject.
First, Misha, I love the shirt. But yeah.
I promised I would wear it yesterday.
I have a question. So you both like doing voiceovers. I was wondering, who do you think out of supernatural characters would be a great voice for a navigation system?
Rowena. I would like that.
That's a good answer as well. I mean, I could also imagine, having Crowley as a good navigator as well. Where are you going? Y'all gone the wrong way again. I've always wanted to have a navigation system that talks to you just like a passenger who's looking at a map would. Wouldn't that be the best? Like if your Google Navigator would be like, okay, I think it's up just a little bit ahead. Oh shit, you passed it. Turn around. Go into the gas station. No, oh shit, you're in the wrong lane. Make a right at the McDonald's. Hold on. I was looking at it upside down. Wait, give me a second. Thank you.
Thanks. Hi there.
Hi. Guys, so you have made a career in TV. What do you think about playing in the theater or maybe some musical?
You would do stage.
For sure.
Yeah. I think we both would. The problem with stage is it can be quite a heavy commitment, time-wise, which takes you kind of away from being available for anything else. And unfortunately, and this is changing, thankfully now, but it doesn't really pay that much, unfortunately. But they're starting to, I think they're starting to charge more for tickets these days.
I think like a Broadway production, you can make good money.
Yeah, but I don't think it used to always be. I mean, as maybe one of the leads,
Right.
But as like, you know, a chorus or like, you know, part of the ensemble, it's difficult. You really got to give it to those actors because most of them do it strictly for the love of theater. I just recently went to Broadway and saw a show a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, I went and saw The Outsiders.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, shit. Is it really?
It's fantastic. My daughter's seen it 3 times.
No way.
Yeah, and yeah, I would love to do something like that. You know, time permitting.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think it'd be a cool experience. I have done very little theater in my life, and I think it'd be good. It would be good because I feel like I might really learn to act. I would have to learn something. No? Well, I mean, there's nothing but room for improvement, right?
Well,
Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, my question is about the confession scene, which by the way you were fucking extraordinary. The acting you did, and it was amazing. And I was wondering, what was going through Bob, Dean's and Cass' mind during that scene?
Well, I think what was going on in Cass's mind was pretty much what he said. He wasn't being cagey or inexpressive in that scene. So I think Cass shared his feelings. And Dean was a bit more stoic. So I think that Jensen will have to speak to that.
Yeah, Dean was stoic because Jensen was, I've told you this, so I feel like it's not a surprise, and don't think that, you know, I think of this of you often, but I was really watching him perform, put in a fabulous performance. So Jensen turned into an audience member in that scene and forgot to act. And so I defaulted to just stoicism, and I was just like, just make Dean look confused. But honestly, both his coverage and my coverage, he was doing such a phenomenal job in that scene that I was just watching my friend act his heart out and was really just impressed in watching his performance. Did I ever, you may not, you were kind of in it that day, and you certainly were doing the heavy lifting. But I gave Maisie, one of our prop assistants, I gave her my phone and I said, because she was a mess. She was literally in tears because of this scene. And so I was like, hey, and it was kind of a two-part. I was like, hey, can you video us doing this scene with my phone offset? Like, you know, so you could see the cameras and the lights and everything, and you could see the two of us sitting there doing the scene and stuff. But it was also kind of to give her something to do so she would stop crying. But I have the video of that, and I could literally watch, I'm just going like this. Just watching you put in this, what should have been an Emmy Award winning performance. I wish there was a lot going through Dean's mind, but there wasn't because Jensen was just sitting there watching his friend put in a great performance.
Is there any chance that you will post that video?
That I would post that video?
Yeah, the one that Misha filmed.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not much of a spoiler at this point.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler, but and you can't really hear what's happening because it's about this far away from the action, so you can just see us and the cameras like right here, but you all know what was happening, so you could fill in the blanks. Yeah, maybe I'll go back and see if I can find it.
Okay, thank you so much.
We fucked around a lot on the set of Supernatural, and I would say 99% of the time, we were not taking the work of acting terribly seriously. Like we could kind of click into our roles and do our bits, but when the script and the scene and the emotional integrity of the show called for it, we always, I would say wordlessly, we always allowed the appropriate space for that. Like, even Jared would be like,
shockingly,
he would notice like when is the time when Dean really needs to get into a deep emotional space and would provide like the space and safety net for that to happen. And it was a really lovely thing to be around, because actually we very well could have been a group that just kept fucking around. Even when,
I mean, we certainly towed the line. We pushed the envelope quite often.
Yeah, but you know, going to work that day, there was no doubt in my mind that there was going to be plenty of space to actually do that scene with integrity. And it was like the whole, the cast and the crew all would rally. And likewise, I remember you at the end of season 5. It was like, for sure, there's going to be all kinds of support for you turning in a real, deep, emotional, compelling performance, and that was actually I thought that was a really lovely balance on the show. We could have fun and not be too precious, and not take it too seriously, not take ourselves seriously, and then also show up when we needed to.
Yeah, because the messing with each other and the playing and the having fun and the shenanigans, that was all part of the bond that we all shared, and it was part of the love that we all shared. But there was this also underlying foundation of support, and also we were kind of all cheerleaders for each other. You know, we wanted them to do the best. We wanted everybody to kind of do their best when they needed to do their best. And so,
and at times we wanted to really undermine one another.
And there are times when we felt like we didn't have to do that, and we went the complete opposite and tried to just completely mess everyone up. But it was all done with a morsel of love. Yeah, it was a very unique thing to be a part of in that set and in that setting with those people, because there was a constant level of rooting for one another in the whole, the entirety.
Even what you're talking about Maisie, there was also this familial quality amongst the crew. Maisie wasn't the only one crying that day. A lot of people on the crew were crying, and just those goodbyes actually felt real to all of us.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that day, and then the barn scene.
The barn scene, what an emotional wreck everyone must have been that day.
Oh, the crew, there was probably at least a half a dozen crew that had to leave the set. Because there was sniffling and there was whimpering going on. They had to walk, I'd never seen tissue boxes spread around the set like I did the day of the barn scene. Wow. And people were literally just holding on to them, just wiping tears away.
Yeah.
While we tried to get through that scene.
You did a fucking great job on that scene. You really just landed that so beautifully.
That was, well, because I've witnessed your performance, I was like, fuck. I really gotta bring it now.
No, you really did. It was really great.
Thanks, man. You too. Hi.
Hi, so it's actually rock, paper, scissors between you two, and whoever loses has to tell a really embarrassing story that happened in their life. Good luck.
Misha's already thinking of the embarrassing story.
I am. I'm trying to think. Well, because I know some embarrassing. I mean, the first ones that come to mind are stories that I'm certainly not going to tell.
1, 2.
You have to win. You have to do rock, paper, scissors.
Are we 2 out of 3?
2
Or
out of
just
3.
1?
2 out of 3.
Okay.
If you want.
Wait, 1, 2.
I won that one.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Shoot.
Okay.
Okay.
Fuck. The only problem is that I really can't tell the story that's it's going off in my head like an alarm. Like, that's obviously the most embarrassing story.
Hey, make it fast, dude. They're pulling us off stage.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess next time.
No. We've got time for the cliff noted version.
This is not my most embarrassing story, but it is a story that happened to me recently. I was going. Why am I telling this story?
Because you lost.
So I was flying out of SeaTac, and I was driving myself from Bellingham, Washington to SeaTac, and it was terrible fucking traffic, and I didn't leave enough time as it was to get to the airport. And now,
Sounds right.
And now I'm like really threading the needle. Like I am barely gonna make it. And I had a lot of coffee, and I had to pee really badly. But I've been in the car now for 3 hours, and I got to the parking lot, and I parked, and I ran into the airport, and I ran past the check-in counter, and I ran straight to the bathroom, and I went to the urinal, and my zipper got kind of snagged. I don't know if you guys have this problem ever. But for me, sometimes like when I'm like, okay, I'm here, I'm at the toilet, I'm ready to go, but then there's a little snag, my body's like, well, no, you said we were doing this. Anyway, I would say probably, no, Jensen, I would say probably like 90% of the urine went into the urinal. But then I had to go through security after. And the problem was that, so you go in the body scanner.
Yeah.
I have to go through the body scanner. I can't go through the metal detector because I have metal hips. And the metal hips set off the metal detector, so I have to go through the body scanner. And I guess like if there's a lot of moisture, it sets off the body scanner. And so I walk through the body scanner, and you can't see anything. You can't see anything on the outside here, but the body scanner could see things, and so it went through. And I don't know if you ever seen like the little person thing on the other side. It was just like there was a big red square right here. And then there were 2 TSA guys that came over, and I was like, why are there 2 guys? And it was because one of them was he was in training, and so he was like, so wait now, so what do I do? And he's like, well, so you gotta use the back of your hands and whatever. And the guy was so fucking thorough. But not only that.
So he got a backhand full of urine, didn't he?
Not only that. He, for some reason, like went down on his knees to like work up my legs on his knees, and then like he had his face right here as he was doing this, and then he was like, he was applying pressure to the fabric that then caused a wicking action to occur.
The absorption into the denim.
It was mortifying. And then he looked up at me, and he looked up at me, and it was like, I could tell at that moment, like, he recognizes me.
Please tell me that you just looked down at him and went, "You're welcome." That's pretty embarrassing.
Why did I do scissors?
All right, you guys.
Bye.